Hey, my name is Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing all the books that I've started but I've not finished. So I went through my bookcases and I found all the books and my Kindle, and I found all the books that I have started and have put down for some reason or another. I'm not really sure. A lot of these I think I was just getting bored, or I just stopped reading them for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But I ended up counting 34 books that I've started and are not finished. So 34 books is a lot of books. I am, amazed at how many books I have put down. This video is just something that I wanted to create so that I can look back and look at all the books that I need to finish or just get rid of out of my collection. But so let's just dive right in. I'm gonna actually start first with the books from Kindle, and I'm not really gonna give any synopsis. I'm just gonna tell you the title and kind of maybe give a little bit of reasons why I put it down. The first book that I have started and not finished is Truly Devious. So this book I just recently got, I believe last year after Christmas when I got my Kindle, and I don't know why I put it down. I think I don't know. I think there was something else I wanted to read, so I just stopped reading it. But I do really want to pick this one up again because I know this is a really popular series, young adult series, mystery series, and so I really want to get to it because I hear things about it that people seem to like it. So I would like to pick it up, and hopefully I get to it at some point in time this year. But yeah. Okay, the next book on my list is The Bone Houses. This is another one that I got after Christmas when I got my Kindle, and I actually started this probably a couple months before that. I don't know, something about this book sounds just really interesting. Not really a big fan of scary books, but I don't know, just something about it. It just sounds really cool, and I really want to read it. So I don't know why I put it down. Maybe I just was kind of unsure about finishing it, but hopefully I'll get to this some point in time and finish this book, because from what I've read, I've actually really enjoyed it. So I'd like to get back into it and finish it. Maybe during the spooky season, that would be a good time to pick it up. The book on this list is Escaping from Houdini, which is part of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So this one, I know I put it down because I think I was bored of it. And I liked the first book a lot. But for some reason, this one, I just couldn't really get into it. I almost kind of, in some ways, want to just read through it really fast and then get to the last book, because I know that one is pretty good. Anyway, this is the one that I have also picked up and have not finished. Hopefully I'll get to this one some point in time, but I do know that this is a pretty good series, and I would like to finish it. The next book on this list that I've started but not finished is The Raven Boys. So this one, I think the reason why I put it down is because I got to one point in the story where it was just a little bit spooky, and I don't know, I wasn't sure about reading it, so I just stopped. And that's actually kind of a theme of mine. When I start a book that maybe I just don't have the right feeling about, or I just don't feel comfortable reading it, I'll usually just put it down. And I'm not sure if I'll actually ever pick this one up again. I do know The Raven Boys is a very popular YA series that is pretty good, but yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get back to this one, but I do have it on my Kindle, so maybe someday I'll feel inclined to pick it up again and read it. The last book that's on my Kindle that I have started but not finished is The Light Between Worlds. This one, I think the reason why I stopped is just, again, maybe I was a little bit bored, or there was just something else that I really wanted to read, or I just wasn't really into it as much as I thought I'd be. But I would really like to finish this one because I know it just seems really magical and whimsical, and I think it deals with some like hard-hitting topics. Someday in the future, maybe I'll pick this one up again and finish it. Okay, next books are ones that I own physical copies to. So I'm just gonna go from the top of each row down, no particular order. First book of my physical copies that I have started but not finished is The Red Palace by June Her. So this one, I started it again. I don't know why I put it down. I was enjoying it, and I think it's going to be a really good book, and I'm excited to read it. So maybe I will pick it up again in the future. I mean, I hope to pick it up again in the future because this is an author that I really want to read more of, because I really love fiction that centers around Korea. And so this one, I'm hoping to pick it up again someday, but at least for now it'll be on my shelf, so it'll be right there waiting for me. Okay, so this next book is the same kind of feeling that I had with Raven Boys, just that I was kind of getting a little uncomfortable reading it, so I put it down, and that is Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. So this one, I was really liking it. I actually started on a road trip, and I was reading it and I was enjoying it. It's very kind of, there's like a mystery there, and it's kind of like a little unsettling at times, so maybe that's why I just was kind of like, I don't know if I really want to continue this book. Though I do really like Erin A. Craig's writing, like her series, her book, her book House of Salt and Sorrow is one that I actually really enjoyed, and so I was excited about this one, so I got it from Barnes & Noble. But I don't know, I just put it down, and maybe I will pick it up again someday. I'm not sure. This might be one that I end up just getting rid of because I just don't know if I feel comfortable reading it. But yeah, I mean, I really want to finish it, but I don't know. I'll have to see if I end up picking it up. But yeah, so here's another one that I need to finish that I've started. Here's another one that I've started and not finished yet. Okay, so the next one that I've started and not finished it is called Safer Than a Known Way by Pamela Roswell Moore. And this is actually a non-fiction book. It's a testimony of this woman, Pamela Roswell. It's a testimony of Pamela Roswell, and she says here that she was how one woman surrendered her fears to God. As a rebellious teenager growing up in England, Pamela Roswell never dreamed her life would someday be spent smuggling Bibles through the Iron Curtain, and later serving as companion to one of Christianity's most famous women, Corrie ten Boom. But as she learned to listen to God, he taught her to relinquish her plans and dreams to him, and then do the work he ordained. Though she was initially terrified of leaving the comfort of England, God gently pried her loose from her fears and sent her on one grand adventure of faith after another. This fascinating narrative resonates with the message that God can meet the greatest needs of those who surrender their fears to him. So it is a testimony of this woman, Pamela Roswell Moore. And I think I actually got this from a book sale at Sunday School, Bass, Bay Area Sunday School Convention. And I actually started reading this before I left to go to Korea on my journey that God let me go on. And I just thought, this is a really good book to read because it is about a woman who just, abandons her fears and says yes to God, and God takes her on this grand adventure. And I don't know why I stopped reading it. I think I didn't get very far. I got to page 24 and I put it down, but I think this is one that I really do need to, I think this is one that I really do need to pick up though, because I think it'll be good for me to read. And yeah, so here's another one that I've started, not finished, but hopefully I'll get to this. Here's my next book that I have started and not finished is In a Sunburned Country by Bill Bryson. This is another nonfiction. I really love Bill Bryson's writing. I just think he's so funny. When I was in school, I read his book. I'm a stranger here myself, and this one just is like little short stories, and this one's just so hilarious. So I've made it my mission to collect more of all of his books, because I really would like to continue reading him. But this is one, again, I started, not sure why I put it down, but hopefully I'll get to this at some point, because I really love his writing. He's so funny. And yeah, this is another one I need to get to. My next book on this list is Witchbud by Tahara Mafi. Here's another one that just started it but just couldn't get into it, or I don't know, just wasn't really meshing with it, so I put it down. But it does sound really like a really cool story. I know it's about a girl who she washes the bodies of the dead to get them ready to, she washes the bodies of the dead to get them ready to pass on to the next life. And it's actually a Persian fantasy, so it's a book that deals with a different culture than my own. And I think this one is actually really whimsical, and I really love the cover. I don't know why I put it down. Hopefully someday I'll pick it up. It is middle grade, and I really like middle grade. I like to read more middle grade. And Tahara Mafi is a really good writer. I have read some of her Shatter Me series and enjoyed that okay, but I really want to get into her middle grade series, because I feel like they'll be really whimsical and just such great writing. And yeah, so hopefully someday I'll get the urge to pick this up again and finish it, but for now, again, it'll be residing on my bookcase for later, and someday I hope to. So the next book is on my list. I actually started during Halloween of last year, and I just didn't put it down. I put it down for some reason, and that's The Halloween Moon by Joseph Fink. I think the reason why I put it down is because I kind of had a different idea from this story, and from what I've read so far, I don't know, it wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. But I do still really would like to read this, because it does still sound good, and I would like to pick it up during Halloween season. And I think I just ran out of time during Halloween, and I don't know, put it down and didn't pick it up. Probably had something to do with wanting to watch something or do something. That's usually what, probably has something to do with wanting to watch something other than read. So yeah, I put this one down, but maybe this next Halloween this year I'll pick it up again and I'll finish it, because I really would like to. Okay, the next book on my list is The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis. So this one I've actually think has been longest that I have from when I picked it up first and started reading it. But it's kind of one of those books that you kind of just have to take your time reading. And I guess maybe I just haven't really had any inclination of picking it up again. But this one is really interesting because it's actually a satire that C.S. Lewis made, and it's so it takes place, it's in the viewpoint of Screwtape, which is a highly placed assistant to Our Father Below. And it's just a book that talks a lot about letters that Screwtape is writing, or not Screwtape, but Wormwood is writing to Screwtape, just talking about how they're manipulating and tricking humans. It is a Christian fiction, or Christian fiction. So I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but C.S. Lewis is such a great writer, and I highly recommend, if you have never read any of his nonfiction work, or I guess this is kind of fiction, then pick it up, because he is so good, and he's a really good writer. He's just writes so many profound things, and his life is so interesting. And so yeah, this is another one that I need to get to again, because it is really good and really important, I think, to read. And so So I think this is my last non-fiction book, and this one is Art and Faith by Makoto Fujimura. This is another Christian fiction, a theology of making art and faith. It's kind of hard to see the cover because it's so light. But this is actually written by, he's an author and an artist. And I got it for Christmas the year before last. I got up to chapter 3. I think this one is very dense and there's just so much information. And it's kind of hard to process it all. I have to really read it very slowly. But again, I guess I just haven't had any inclination to pick it up again. I don't know why, because I really would like to read it because I really admire this author. But yeah, I think this one is a lot about, you know, how art and faith are connected. And yeah, another one I would like to, another one that I need to pick up and finish, but that is Art and Faith. So the next book on this list is a very popular book by a very popular author, and that's Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have a little trade paperback. This one I started, got up to page 127. I was enjoying it. It's high fantasy, so maybe that's why I put it down, because it's just so much information to process. And but yeah, I really would like to get to this one eventually because I was enjoying it, and I really want to read more Brandon Sanderson. And there is a few more of his books on this list, but here's the next book. My next Brandon Sanderson book on here is Elantris. My next Brandon Sanderson book on this list is Elantris. This one is another one that I was enjoying, but I don't know, I just put it down again. I tend to do that a lot, but I would like to get to this one too, because from what I was reading, it was really interesting. It's kind of a very interesting world, and yeah, so that's one I would really like to get to. So hopefully this coming year or in the years ahead, I'll pick this one up again and I'll finish. On this list is Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand. This is another middle grade story that I picked up and started but didn't finish it. This one actually deals a lot with grief, and it deals with Finley, the main character, and it's I like the premise of it. It involves like her creating this make-believe world that ends up becoming actually a real place. And yeah, I would like to read this one. It's a little more sadder, and I do like sad books, so hopefully I'll be able to get to this one again. And next book is one that is very popular by a very popular author, and that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This one I started and I was enjoying it. I hear it's very sad, and I think that whole idea of it being sad just kind of makes me nervous, which is funny because I just said that I like sad books. But this one, for some reason, just makes me feel very nervous and unsure of where it's going to go. It's also very thick, so it's a little intimidating. But I know that Haley in Bookland really loves this book, and there are several other YouTubers that love it too. And so I would really like to get to it because I think it'll be really good. And yeah, so hopefully someday I'll get the urge to read it again, to pick it up and to actually finish it. The next book on here is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. Here is another book that I really want to read because it involves brother and sister relationship, which I really love books that involve that because I have brothers, and I just think that the relationship between brothers and sisters is just so important and dynamic. And I was excited about this one. I picked it up and was reading it, but I don't know if it just didn't really, I was actually listening on audio. I just didn't really click with it. Maybe because it was the audio, I need to actually pick up the physical copy. Maybe then I'll actually enjoy it more, because I don't know, I just didn't really like the narrator. But yeah, this is one I really would like to read. I know it involves Beethoven and his sister, who no one really knows about. And yeah, so this one just sounds really cool, and the cover is really, really cool. I love the neon looking colors. And yeah, here's another one I'd like to get to at some point. There's some little paperbacks. This one next is Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis, which is part of his acclaimed space trilogy. This one it was a couple years ago that I started this one. I really would like to get to this because I know, like, I've read some of his Narnia books, and of course his nonfiction. So this is a sci-fi book that I really want to read because it's really, you know, kind of one of those sci-fi books that I don't really hear a lot of people talking about. And so, yeah, I would like to pick this one up again and get to it. I do have the other books in the series, so eventually when I'm feeling inclined, I'll pick this one up. And not really sure why I put it down. I think I just kind of, I don't know, just got bored, or I don't know, just didn't want to read it anymore. But yeah, this is another one that I really, really like to pick up again. And then the next one is Pride and Prejudice and Peril by Katie Oliver. This is a murder mystery that is inspired by, well, it's not inspired. This is a murder mystery that kind of brings in Jane Austen's works. And I was also really enjoying this one. I actually got pretty far. I think I got to page 92. And actually my mom read it and finished it, and she liked it, and she's like, now you need to finish it so we can talk about it. And I was like, okay, I need to finish it. That was a couple months ago, and I have not finished it yet. So again, this is another one that I would like to pick up again and finish. And actually the second one of this series came out this year, and I would like to read that. And before I read that, I would like to actually finish this one. So here's my next book. All right, this next book is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And this one, I actually read the first story. It's some short stories about this cafe in Tokyo. I believe it's in Tokyo. Yeah, cafe in Tokyo, where if you sit in a certain seat, you can actually time travel to a different time, but you have to be back before the coffee gets cold. So this book just sounds so unique and different, and I really liked the first story. And I don't know why, I guess I just read the first one and I just decided to stop reading for now. So hopefully eventually I'll pick this one up again and finish it, because I was really enjoying it. So many more books left to talk about. Oh, see, it's a lot of books that I need to finish. This next one is My Plain Jane by the Lady Janies, or Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is kind of like a twist on Jane Eyre, the story of Jane Eyre, but it deals with ghosts. And yeah, I like this one too. Put it down for some reason, not really sure why. I actually have a few other books by this author. I actually have a few other books by this author trio that I would like to get to. And so hopefully this year I'll get to this one and get to their other books, because I really like the idea of kind of a twist on a classic story. I just think that would be really interesting to read. And yeah, this is the next one that I need to finish. Next book on my list, the books that I have started but not finished, is Cogheart by Peter Bunzel. This book I actually got when I was living in Korea, and I think it's actually from the UK. It's a middle grade. And this one sounds really interesting. I started it, don't know why I put it down, but another one that I would like to get to again in the future, because I just think it would be really cool. It sounds like a cool book. So hopefully I'll be able to get to this one at some point in time and finish. Next book on this list is Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. This is one of those YA novels that I believe that I've started it before, though now I'm not really sure. But anyways, here's another book that I need to finish. This one is kind of one of those YA books that kind of came out in like the mid 2000s, I think. Let's see, when did this come out? This came out in 2019, so not the mid 2000s, but it's been around for a couple of years now. I really wanted to read this one, I know, when it came out, and I bought it, and I believe I started it, but again, I put it down for some reason, not really sure why. But this one just does sound really cool. Deals with a princess that's a rebel. Prisoner, orphan, rebel. And I believe that her kingdom gets taken over by this one man, and her family gets killed, and she's like the remainder, and she becomes a prisoner of this kingdom, this king, and she's referred to as Ash. She's referred to as Ash Princess. So here's another one that I need to get to. I know there's more in the series that, I don't know, I really want to read the series, so I need to read this one first in order to be able to do that. So hopefully this year will be the year that I pick this one up and finish it, because it sounds really cool. The cover's just really cool. I know shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but of course I do all the time. But yeah, so I'm excited to get this one eventually and finish it, and hopefully get into the series, because I really would like to find out what the story is. The next book on this list is The Glass Spar by Lauren DeStefano. Here is another fantasy, YA fantasy. This is about Wilhelmina Heidel, who is I think she's a spy, I believe. And she ends up actually finding out that she has these powers where she can turn people into gemstones. I think that's what it is. This one, the magic just sounds so unique and different. And I did pick it up and I started. I got on to chapter 3. And I need to get it back into it, because this is also another series that I would really like to read. Because I was enjoying the first book. I just need to get myself sit down and just read and finish it, because I'm excited to get to this one. I know this one just sounds really cool, and yeah. And of course the cover again is just really cool. Sorry if you can hear my family in the background. We're actually having a dinner to celebrate my dad's birthday today, so it's a little bit noisy in the background. So the next book in this series, the next book in this list of books that I've started but have not finished is The Silence of Bones by June Her. It's another book by June Her that I started and need to finish. And I got to page 89. I honestly don't know why I put these books down, because I was enjoying it, and just for some reason, maybe actually, I think now that I think about it, I think the reason I put it down is because I was like, oh, I think the reason why I put this down is because, oh, I could read this during like the spooky season, because it's kind of creepy a little bit. It's a murder mystery. But again, I don't know why I put it down, but hopefully I'll be able to get to this one this year, because I really would like to read more of her work. I mean, I would like to read all of her work, because I haven't read any of them or finished any of them. But here's another one that I need to pick up again. Alright, the next book on this list is Dark Waters by Catherine Arden. So this is a middle grade series. This is the third in the series of following Ollie, Coco, and Brian, and where they have to deal with the smiling man. This is kind of a spooky middle grade that I read the first two and really loved them, so I got the third one. And another one that I think I might wait and read closer to the spooky season, or maybe even during the spring or summer, because this actually takes place at a different time. I think this takes place in the spring. But yeah, another book that I really love Catherine Arden's writing. This series is really good. It's one of my favorite spooky middle grade series. So I would like to finish it, and the new book actually just came out, and I would like to get that one too and read it. But yeah, so I really need to pick this one up and finish it. Maybe this year will be the year that I actually do. And of course this cover, oh man, this fish is so scary. See, that's the smiling man. And yeah, it's such a good series. It's so creepy and great. I love it so much. So yeah, I need to get to this one this year. The next book on this list is The Berry Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. So this is kind of a different circumstance around this book because I have read this before. I actually read it for a class a few years ago for my science and my fantasy and science fiction class that I took in community college. But when I read it, you know, every time I read a book for school, I always tend to not like it as much. So I was like, you know, I want to try reading this again and see if I like it just as much, you know, if I like it, and see if I like it more, because I'm not reading it for a class. So I actually have had this book for quite a while, and I restarted it. I was listening to the audiobook and just stopped reading it. I think the audiobooks, some audiobooks just aren't for me, and this is one of those cases. Though I do like audiobooks, but I don't know, for some reason there's just some audiobooks that I just don't mesh with. So that's the case for this audiobook. So I would really like to pick this one up. And I know, like, even though this is silly, but even though if I don't end up really liking it as much as I hope I would, I want to keep this copy because it's a signed first edition. So I actually have Kazuo Ishiguro's signature, I don't know if you can see it, in the book. And I just think that's so cool. And this cover is so cool. And yeah, it's a first edition. Obviously it says signed first edition. And yeah, so I would like to pick this one up again and finish it, my reread of it. And hopefully I like it more than I did the first time I read it. Because I know Kazuo Ishiguro is a very prolific writer. And his books are very popular, and So I would like to get to this one this year, hopefully, and finish it. Not finished is Being Mary Bennett by C.J. Peterson. This is a young adult contemporary, and I actually got to chapter 6 on this book. I would like to read it this year. This is actually one of my 23 books of 2023 because when I got it, I actually got it from the, well, obviously, I got it from the bookstore actually when I was just going there to browse, and I picked it up and it sounded really cute. And I do like to read YA contemporary sometimes. And so I would really like to pick this one up and finish it. I love the back says, I, Marnie Barnes, hereby do swear to cast off Mary Bennett. I will not allow myself to be pedantic. I will not allow myself to die alone with 15 cats, having never been kissed. I will change who I am no matter the cost. Signed, Marnie Barnes. Yeah, so it just sounds really cute. And the next book on this list is Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. Another one I had started reading the audiobook for. This one I was enjoying. It's a fantasy that involves a traveling hotel, magical traveling hotel. And I think I just decided to return the audiobook to the library without finishing it because I knew I owned it. And I have it, you know, where I stopped off at on Goodreads. So hopefully someday I pick this one up again. And this is also another one on my 23 of 2023. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to this one. The next book on my list is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. This one is another fantasy book that I started. I was really excited when this came out. I actually got the special pin and sticker that came along with this, the pre-order gifts. And yeah, I started it. I was enjoying it, put it down, not sure why. Hopefully I'll get to this one. I think this is also my 23 of 2023. So a lot of books that I've picked up and started and not finished are on my 23 of 2023 books. And so I would like to get to this one this year. This is probably high on my list. And yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. I want to finish it this year. So I hope to someday this year. So I hope to pick this one up and finish. Here's my next Brandon Sanderson book. The last one on the list is I hope you probably guessed what it is, and that is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Another book that I'm slowly making my way through. I've started several, I've been in the midst of for quite a while. I've started it and just kept going, and I believe I'm on 246, but it's such a big book and it's so intimidating, and I don't know. I'm so like worried I'm not gonna like it, because I feel like I have such high expectations of it, and just like it's so dense and thick, and there's just so much, I don't know, it's high fantasy, so that just intimidates me so much. And I think I just put it down because I don't know. I think there's just so much expectations on this one, and yeah, I need to just get it. I need to read it. This is one book that's actually on my goals of the year, is to finish The Way of Kings, because this has just been staring at me for forever, and I really need to finish it this year. My last two books on this list. First one is Graceling by Kristen Kishore. This one involves a girl who has the ability to kill, and well, she has grace, which makes you someone very skilled at something, and her skill is that she can kill, which sounds really interesting and brutal. But I started it. I've been reading it slowly. It's good. I like it. Popular series I really want to get into. So hopefully this year I'll finish it. I'll pick it up and finish this book. But yeah, this is my second to last book that I've started and not finished. The last book on this list, is The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this series I'm really enjoying. I like the storyline. I read the first two, this is the third in the series, and I really need to find out what's going to happen. I feel like everyone's just waiting. All the characters in this book are just waiting for me to pick it up and finish it so that they can let me know what's going on. And I know that there's another book she's releasing, The Brothers Hawthorne, that I really want to read. And so I need to get to this one because I'm excited for the new one. So I need to finish this book. Hopefully I'll get to it this year. And I think it's actually on another one on my 23 of 2023. So this one I definitely want to finish. But yeah, that's my last book. That's my last book that I've started and not finished. Wow, that's a lot of books. 34 books that I've started and not finished. It's crazy, like going through my bookcases and finding these books, and like I didn't realize how many there were that I need to finish. And yeah, it's just so many. And I did just realize a little bit ago that I forgot to mention the authors of the books that I mentioned for my ebook, so I'll write that down in the description so that you can know who they're by. But yeah, that's all the books that I've started and need to finish. So hopefully this will be the year where I'll actually finish books that I've started. Let me know in the comments if there's any of these that I should prioritize and get to sooner rather than later. And I just thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy this video. You get some also some inspiration for books that you can pick up and read. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.